America needs to be on high alert. And this is not fear mongering. This is just me adjusting my tripod. I don't know if you've ever seen the guy who was supposed to be a pastor. I found out about it like 2 days ago. And this particular pastor, he predicted the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, where the bullet flew past his ear, nicked him on the ear, months before, whether it was March or May, I think it was March of 2024, where he actually predicted this thing and described it to a T. When I find that video, I'm going to put it in the description area below. But on the Alex Jones show, whichever show he has now, because his show was taken down, but I know he's on Twitter, he played that video, and he also played another video of the same pastor who got that thing dead on. I mean, this guy described every single detail, and before it happened to Donald Trump. So what I mean to say now, he is describing something else. And when I find that video, I'll put it down. I just came out to get some air. The sun all of a sudden left. The clouds are all over the place. When I was inside doing the earlier show about fear, generational fear. You're a victim of generational fear. I want to thank everybody for being on that show. I enjoyed myself. And now YouTube is encouraging us to go on different mediums to put our content out, to just jazz it up a little bit. Now, I don't know, nobody left a comment yet. It's okay. But now the same guy, and this is not going to be long. This is going to be kind of a shorter live. He went on to detail what is supposed to happen during the inauguration, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow? Tuesday? Not sure. What's today's date? I'm up here. It's like I'm on Gilligan's Island. I'm out here away from the world, so I got to look at the time and everything on the phone. So, but whenever the inauguration happens, he says that they've been planning this for a while, and there have been about maybe 1,000, he wouldn't say terrorists, right? Because he basically said that this is an attack. This is war. This is like not just one single terrorist attack, which if one life is lost, that's too much, right? But he went on to say that this is a concerted effort from Iran, and that because the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, with their brilliant selves, left the borders open. So if you eat watermelon inside your house and your veins are full of sugar, natural sugar, and there's all kind of mosquitoes outside. You have screens, you have windows, but you open up every window and open up every door. Don't you think the mosquitoes after a while are going to find you and you're going to wake up scratching? Well, I could believe that part about 1,000 of them, approximately that amount, was sent here, brought in, and ushered in an underground railroad type of situation. It was orderly, and about 1,000 of them are here in the country, comfortable, and already have set up. And he said that, and I'm saying this to go on record to say this, not that I'm predicting it, but to bring awareness to it just in case it happens. I'm not saying that I know anything or have that type of discernment to be able to predict something like that. But if it does happen, this guy, they got to snatch this guy up because he's got a definite connection to something to know that. And I do know for a fact that there are certain people out here who are gifted on a spiritual level. Is he one? I don't know. Did he do a hit or miss? Was it a guess? I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out when this thing happens. And I don't want anything to happen, but the bottom line is signs and wonders at this time in history, it's going to keep on happening. So he said there's going to be like several hundred, if not 1,000 vans that are full of explosives that are going to go after multiple locations. And it's not just vans, but he said the Statue of Liberty was going to be one. Of course, the inauguration event is going to be another one. He said Oklahoma is going to be another one. Somewhere in LA is going to be another one. And different cities across the country at the same time, boom, are going to get hit. And they're going to hit monuments. They're going to hit things that are symbolic, like the World Trade Center, right? I mean, that's symbolic. And that will hurt the morale of the country of those who are patriotic. So that remains to be seen. This is pretty much a big undertaking if anybody went to do this. And with me, it's always, it seems like at the end of all of this, the FBI said, well, we had intel that this might happen. Well, why didn't you do anything? If you had intel on the slightest thing, why don't you follow up on it? You have the manpower, you have the money to do it, you have the resources to do it. Why do these things always slip by? I don't understand. Is this something that's allowed to happen on purpose to bring about other things? Now you start thinking like a conspiracy theorist, but these things really happen. Also, they're also talking about this whole, what they call it, UAP. I forgot what it stands for, but unidentified, whatever, but it's like a UFO, right? And we have to talk about these things because the media is opening up about it. And years ago, the government did admit that there was some type of alien contact. And you know how I feel about that. Is it really alien or is it demonic? Right? This AI that we have. I'm going to talk about that later on. I might even do another live show or recording, but I'm leaning toward doing a live show. But all of these things that have happened within the last few years that the authorities already knew about. To me, maybe it's my particular age group that I'm in, but ever since 911 happened, September 11th, 2001, it's like time just went by so quick. It went by too quick. And so many things have been revealed to us in the world in the last, I can say, 24 years, because 2001, 2025, but it's almost a quarter of a century. Let's just say a quarter of a century. In the last quarter of a century, the world has changed so fast. It was like it changed 150 years worth, not just with technology, but with how we've become so decadent. Guada 9, welcome on in. Much love, appreciation. But the spiritual decadence, the low morale, how society has become, the crime, the hate, the bitterness, the venom. It's like human life doesn't have any value anymore. It's like we don't consider other people's feelings or emotions, or not that it was perfect back then, but in the beginning of my lifetime, the world was different on one respect. We still had wars, we still had the high gas prices, we had economic situations and whatnot, but it's amplified to the utmost right now. And we're like that frog, we're like that shrimp, we're like that uh, uh, frog in the water, cold water in a pot, a pan, a pot. They put the fire on under it, right? And it doesn't realize that it's about to boil. It gets warmer and warmer. Giant gain, welcome on in. And Nika 12. Where am I getting 12 from? Nika G. Thank you. Thank you. Nika says peace, power, prosperity, health, wealth, abundance, protection beyond to you. Oh, I accept all of that because I'm a servant. I'm going to keep on doing what I do with the right spirit. And Giant Gain, I've definitely got to respond back to you. I've been, this is the first, whenever I don't do a live or a show in 3 days, not that I'm going through anything, but I've been pushing hard with different aspects. And I'm going to just flood out today, tomorrow, and forevermore until something busy brings me or takes me away. But that's where my mind is. But do we really need to be on high alert? Black folks, we've been on high alert. We were born into this thing on high alert. Cops beating us down, systemic racism, all the weird things that happen, being hated on by others. And they love what we have, but they hate on us because they don't want us to have it. They don't want us to have our positioning that we don't know about, that never teach us about. That's what we have to teach our own selves. It's not hate, it's reality. And we've been on high alert. So it's not really going to be us who's shocked as much. You see, Tracy J, how are you? We definitely have to talk, but we've been on high alert. We live in this thing in high alert. We're in the boiling water, and it feels cool to us because we're so used to it. Not that it feels cool, right? But we've never been treated right in the system. And I'm not going to say that, oh, I'm so happy to see the country falling apart. Still, it's the place I was born into. I'm still an American. I'm also a Ghanaian, legally both sides. But do I want to see the place where I was born and the wonderful people that I know and I'm connected to, especially the ones here in the chat room and who are listening? I don't want to see anything happen that way. And I pray righteously the same energy. What is this floating over here by me that you can't see? Forget this is Africa. You don't know what you'll see floating around out here, right? You got to keep eyes peeled. But we do have to be on high alert a little more because those of us who are there, and it doesn't mean because I'm here, I'm not going to feel it because things that happen on that big level will affect the whole world. If there is a nuclear situation, it's going to affect God. It's going to affect the whole planet. Life as we know it will change. So do I want that, even if I'm a little way away from the epicenter, do I really want that? No. Who wants that? I want to enjoy nature. I want to have a good laugh. I want to enjoy good meals. I want to live life, you know? And yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and I got some stuff to show you too. You and Tracy J. Definitely. Got some stuff to show you. Got to clean up tomorrow and present it. You're like, whoa. So the goal's been met that way, and there's more goals to reach. And that's what I'm about. I'm about ascension and getting your life better, making things better. You will fall into little traps sometime, little pitfalls. It doesn't mean you can't climb out and get better. We're at the top of the year. The month is moving fast, but we do have to be aware of everything around us. It doesn't mean you're just looking out for a terrorist attack, but when you're trying to ascend and you have that inner light inside of you of positivity, and you're not walking around venomous, those entities out there that are diametrically opposed to you will do anything to discourage you, anything to try to stop you, anything to foil your plan because it's destined. They can see your destiny more than you can sometimes. See, we're down in it. We're doing the thing, right? And so when we're down in it, toiling and working hard to our goals, we're not just sitting around looking around and whatever. No. Time moves on, we're doing our thing, but you have these entities that want to stop you. That's their job. That's their job. That's their job to position themselves into your life or get close to you to try to discourage you and stop you from what it is that you have to do. Is it paranoia? No, it's life. You claim to be into any kind of religion, you know that's the way it is. If you're spiritually in tune, you know that's the way it is. I don't have to tell you any different. You know that's the way it is. When you have those days, don't question what it is. You know that something good is coming for you, and those forces don't want you to get it. That's just the game. It's like a video game. I'm playing video games all day. That way, I don't mean the actual games, but the game of when you can discern something coming at you, and you say, I know what this is coming at me. I'll play dumb, but I'll dodge the blow. A lot of us don't know how to do that. You know, Guadagnino says, what do you think of whites who have been granted Ghanaian citizenship? Is it fair? No, I don't like it. I don't like it. They always want to take our culture. They always want to take our status. They'll tell you to go back to Africa, but they come over here and get citizenship. What the hell is that all about? Because they know things that many of us don't know about Africa. That this is the final frontier. All of us here know that. And I'm standing on African soil as we speak, right? But they know that. So they want to mind F you, and I mean F-U-C-K, they want to mind F all of us to thinking, oh yes, the great USA and America and all that stuff, right? I don't hate America. I don't like the system. But they're going to bring America down by the way the system is doing things, and they know that they need to come out. More and more here in the motherland. I'm seeing more of the other. Why do you want to be here if it's nothing but spear chuckers and lions and tigers and hungry children running around here? You know this is paradise. You know that the corruption here is caused by you, the one who doesn't look like me, who wants to keep us divided. Why don't we have a United States of Africa, right? Why are so many in the north, the Arabs are trying to take over up there, and the Caucasians trying to take care of the southern part, South Africa, and others moving on in? The small hats are planning on coming over here, right? They all want to get over here before we're over here. We have so many of us over here talking about, oh, I don't know nothing about no Africa. I ain't got nothing over there. Well, I'll tell you straight up, there's no way I can live like this if I was in the States. Not that I'm negative, but there's no way I can leapfrog. When I saw the potential, before this big old house was made in this same land, I said, wait a second. I can get all this land for this amount of money? I can build a house that's paid for and work on it a little bit at a time and whatever. I'm not going to broadcast my business all over the street as far as showing every angle or whatever have you, right? Still have to have a little anonymity. But wait a second. America's been ripping me off, right? That's right, Tracy J. Save money to leave America. Do not buy anything in America. That's right, because they know America's about to fall. Oh, you're being negative. And a lot of black folks don't like to hear that, who pushed their nose up when they felt that they were superior in the system and realized that the bottom's about to drop out. This is soil here. Trees grow, fruits grow. Why wouldn't you want to be in paradise? It's overcast now, so this is why you don't see any sun. I mean, when I was inside doing the show, the sun was strong, but for some reason, it's just overcast and it's not going to rain because it's the dry season. But why? Why would you be so against? Even if, let me tell you something, how some of us are brainwashed, right? Some of us are so brainwashed that if Africa was white, we'd want to be over here. That's our sickness. And am I speaking in a racist manner? No, I'm addressing a problem, an issue, a mental issue that many of us as black people have. That if Africa was all white and you see them in the beautiful, plush, fruit laden, I'm looking at avocados, I'm looking at bananas, I'm looking, and it's the dry season. Ain't nothing gonna grow now for another couple months, right? There's things underground that can dig up potatoes and different type of yam and everything like that. I eat out of here. The leaves you see hit the ground because everything's dry now. The leaves, everything just looks a little dead right now. It's not. That's just the way it is. It's seasonal. And when we set up our system to pump the borehole water around, everything is going to be plush. But everything, nothing before its time, right? But if Africa was white, we'd be killing ourselves to get over here. Most of us, when we don't travel to black countries. When you go to the travel agency, we don't see black countries. Come to Uganda. When's the last time you saw that? Come to Gambia. When was the last time you saw that? But then white women are coming down to Gambia and getting straight up piped out. We're not talking about plumbing pipes. We're talking about that thing that these black men carry down there. And they're enjoying it, loving it, and bringing some of them back like pets to the UK. And some of them who are there who think a white woman is better. So y'all got me ticked off now. You asked me that question, Quada, so you know I'm going to go off, right? Exactly, natural production, not mass production. You go out in the woods, you'll never be hungry. There are homeless people out here, you don't know they're homeless, except their clothes might be a little tattered. And even then, they're clean. And clothes are cheap. I went down to the market, man. I saw this T-shirt. It's the equivalent. It was like $1.25. I was like, oh man, that's a heavy. I like that. Let me get that. It doesn't have to be a name brand, although it is. I'm not into the superficial stuff. Give me nature. It's gonna make me live long. My feet are touching the ground. My bare feet are touching the ground right now, so I feel it. But if here was Caucasian, because we want to sniff up under them and think, but they know the secret. And because now there's mayhem and inflation and high rentals and high mortgages and stress and killings and people going crazy in their economy, and I say their economy, the natural not natural, man-made, the natural economy will never die. This is the economy. That's why they want to destroy everything with GMO. That's why I don't want to say the full name is going to trigger something off, but them Gates there, Mr. Gates, that's why he wants to destroy this because this is ours and he can't control that. They can't control nature. If they can control God, they would do that. Whatever you want to call it, creator, God, something made this. The vibration out here is so wonderful, even if it's overcast and it's dry right now because it hasn't rained in a long time. It's okay. It's peaceful. Just listen. You probably can't hear it. But birds, somebody's knocking something, doing some work. It's peaceful, no stress. After a while, when you first come out here, I mean, not as soon as you hit the airport, but when you first get to a place, maybe up in the mountains or the beach, but in the mountains, and you feel this place is walled all the way around, right? I did that. We did that. And so now we have a place that I take off all my clothes right now. Nobody's going to see me. I've done that. I do that. And walk out in the sun. Like they say with Adam and Eve. Now we know how that goes. I'm just saying symbolically. That alone takes the stress off of you. And it helps you to think clear. And it helps you to get more done. And it helps you to know yourself more because so many of us, we don't even know ourselves. We had that conversation before, Tracy J. And yeah, and nobody wants to be bothered with the US dollar anymore. The BRICS nation, they know what's coming, you know. But which one of these trees will call me back to pay them a couple dollars for a mango that I picked off of a bunch I gave away a bunch of bananas. And there's some hanging another couple days, they're gonna be ready. I'm gonna get them too. Before the sun goes down, I thought it was like one or two hanging. I'm talking the big bunches with the long little thing and that little funny tail. A lot of them. And you walk around, you're like, I don't see it. There's another tree over there that they don't have in America. It has these black, I won't call them berries because you have to peel off the skin. The skin is velvety. When you peel off that skin and eat that thing is so sweet. And I'm in a struggle right now with Mrs. SCURV because she says, well, if we're going to build this particular thing here, we got to take the tree down. I'm like, no, we can't do it. But it's something crucial to the functionability of the home. But I'm like, no, man, we can't replant that thing. That thing has been there for so many decades already. And there's so many sweet, any of the workers that come here, they climb up and get it. That thing is sweet. I never tasted nothing like that before in my life. We have other ones growing here, but they're not big and bearing like that, right? So the tranquility and the peace is something they don't want you to have because it's an energy thing. These entities want to keep us in a state of frustration. It's almost like they get a joy from us being hectic and on these jobs and oh God, I don't have enough money to pay the rent and they sit back. They're getting an orgasm off of that. Not some of them might be right, but they're getting something from it. And when you get away, and when you come to somewhere else like here, right, whatever country you choose to come to, even if it's not the motherland, somewhere where there's nature, peace and quiet, and you can get away, they get angry at that. Like they feel like they own you. You got to be under their captivity. And this is why, that's right, job just over broke. This is why America is in a state of high alert because of all the dirt that they've done. And I don't understand a president like President Biden who would want to sabotage his own nation, but evidently they listen to people who we can't see, those shadow governments, to set it up. And Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, he appears to not be with that, but they say that he is. Who knows? But they don't want him to be president. So let's see what happens in the next few days. What might trigger off? Let's hope nothing happens. Let's hope that that's a false projection. But I had to speak on it. And for us, Kelly Land, welcome on in. And the most funny part about it is that they create these problems because we do live in projects. Yes, yes. And even if it's not the projects in the inner city black neighborhoods that we're in, with these so-called 15-minute smart cities that they have, those will be the new projects. Because they were basically saying that something tiny is biting me on my arms. I'm still gonna stay here and talk. That's what I'm doing. I'm itching, right? But that's gonna be the projects. But it's gonna be a project that they're gonna fool you to wanna be in like it's an advantage. And this is why they were saying couldn't pinpoint the source because y'all know I see a lot of videos, a lot of content and stuff. So I just collect everything up. But it was said by someone who has power in that situation, especially in LA. It wasn't a politician, it was a developer. And he was just so happy about it. He went, oh yeah, basically, well, we can take this and restructure everything and have more people live in less space. And they don't want to see this. As far as you can go. As far as you can go up. I can this is why when I go to the city, it could be nice. Sometimes I want that New York City vibe, meaning the collection of people and the melanin and the markets. I love it. But it doesn't last too long. I want to come back home. I want to come back to where it's quiet and meditate, you know? If they don't like me or anybody else who will show something like this as a way out of that madness and to compare it. That's why I tell many people who know me, come on out. Y'all know who you are. Yeah, because they think we're pets. You're right. Yep. You're right, Kelly. And Tracy G says spending 40 plus hours a week somewhere every week for decades is unnatural, especially when you're inside. It's overcast. There's no sun right now, but there was sun. Look, I was walking around. I took everything off. I was walking around, waiting for the download to see what I was going to talk about today. That was on my mind to talk about that, but I didn't know it was going to be till today. And I'm casual. I'm taking my time and getting more done and enjoying every moment of it, right? I know what I'm going to eat. I got it from back here. I'm gonna peel the potatoes, and you know what I mean. I got some stuff cooking up, and it's all good. And when sleep takes me over, it will take me over naturally. A cycle, but the cycles are thrown off in the states and in places where there's a Western state of mind. There is no cycle no more. Sleep hits me so hard. I have to fight to stay up to do the Muslim Street show with Malik Aziz. 12:30 in the morning my time. I'm struggling. I usually fall asleep 7:30, 8 o'clock. Boom, out. I gotta set the alarm to wake up to do the show because of the 5 hours difference, right? So when you're in tune with nature and that feeling hits you of sleepiness and heaviness, it is a sweet feeling. You're like, oh man. You say, let me just lay down for 5 minutes. You lay down for a few minutes, you're out. You wake up sometime, you've been sleeping for 5 hours, you wake up, it's just after midnight. Like, wow. So it's no wonder why I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning naturally, 4 o'clock in the morning, wide awake. And I couldn't do that before, you know? Yeah. You're right, Giant Game. That's what it is. You're still getting that connection to nature. And they don't want you to have that, which proves to me that these people are aliens. It proves to me that these people don't belong on this earth. They're the only things that burn up. It's not hate talk. We don't burn up like that. They burn up. The sun don't like them. The sun is about life. The sun is about nurturing and feeding you and feeding your melanin. They don't like us in the sun. They want us in these slave camps on these jobs, 40 hours. And you want overtime? And as soon as you get in the job, they want to put you to work overnight. So you're sleeping during the day and not getting no sun, killing yourself off on such a low vibration, even though you may have the intention of going higher. And many don't know. Many think they have to go deeper into the system to go higher. You know, they feel I got to work more. Maybe I go to a nicer neighborhood. What does that mean? Move closer to white folks, right? That don't even want you there, right? But like I said, if America was white, we'd be breaking our necks to come over here. And the amount of people who have told that may not have known, because there are a lot of people I know, you know how it is. There's some phone number you might have had from 2 jobs ago, 15 years ago, and a person has your number, you still have the number. They call you, hey, how you doing? Remember me? Yeah, how you doing? What's going on? What you been doing? Oh, nothing much. I'm retired now. I'm just relaxing. Well, where did you retire to? Did you go down to Atlanta? Did you go down to Georgia? Did you go down to Texas? I'm like, nah. I came out here to Africa. Then there's a pause. Africa? Thank you, Guada. Hit the like button, y'all. Kelly Land said, I like waking up in the morning when I was younger. I didn't like it. But now that I'm older, I see it differently. Waking up in the morning is like a new start in life. Exactly. And you wake up and you hear the birds. They start. You look outside, like when I look over the mountains, and it's the clouds right here. I'm in the clouds. Not fog, clouds. That's how high up we are. Then when the clouds clear away, sometimes they don't really sit down like that. Sometimes you look up and there's like no clouds, pure sky, like at night, and all the stars and everything. And you see the sun coming up, and I go by the sun. When I'm home, I don't. Oh, what time is it? No, I don't. I go by the sun. What's natural? The sun starts going down. I start winding down. If there's something I have to do, I'll hurry up a little bit more to get it done, to beat that sun. Then I'm laying there. It's just my time. I might be surfing a little bit to pick a subject to get information, not to mindlessly go up and down. I want to live a life of purpose. And sometimes living a life of purpose doesn't mean you have to be on a job grind. Of course, we still have our foot in the system. I get a retirement check and soon I get a social security check. I'm still in the system, but hopefully I'm smart enough to use that to get out of the system. Not to pay one person, but to make my life so efficient, getting my own power, getting my own water, building a structure that will go beyond my natural lifespan. Strong, good work, solid stuff. Not some house that can burn down, but solid, security minded, protecting ourselves, not just sitting here like a sitting duck for anybody to come in here and do whatever. You're going to find out every aspect, every nook and cranny that feels good to be in. It's edifying to your spirit that you can just leave and get a feeling of going to a park somewhere that's right in your backyard, right? You can do whatever you want to do. To bring that joy inside your heart, like when you were a kid, you're like, oh, I'm going to the park, or I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there. Every adult, whether you're married or single, you need your me time. Why not have a place where you and your mate can have your own time apart, but you're still home and you honor that? One may want to do this or zone out, and you do stuff together. And when you come back together, it makes it better. But you're all cooped up on each other all the time. That's the whole, something stuck me. I'm like, oh, I hope it ain't a snake. But they don't bother me. I saw one the other day, a little tiny one. It's the human snakes that I have to be concerned of, you know. But the snakes don't bother you. They see you and they keep on going. You corner them, you'll find out what will happen, you know. Ah, Ferrisarati F. Yes, yes, you're welcome. You're welcome so much. He says, Lance, thanks for your bravery to leave Babylon. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm some hero or something like that, man. I never put myself up to be any of that, but yeah, it does take you knowing, and there is the unknown, and there's a lot of unknown in the United States. And again, it doesn't mean everybody's timetable has to be the same. Doesn't mean everybody has to leave and come here, but it's a place that in your heart and how you can live, and as long as you're not restricted, you can live the way you want to live. You can think the thoughts that you want to think. I have a lot more work to do in here to bring it to the point of where I'm not going to wait, but there's more stuff to do. But I have a couple of weeks. I can focus on some things creatively and just let nature, let God talk to me. Just go out there and be still, and the directions will come. I say that all the time. You don't have to force it. Just like when you're in the States and, oh, I got to get this deadline for this job, and you're under pressure. You home and should be relaxing because you're not working. You're not at work, but you're thinking about a deadline. But the so-called supervisor, the person who you call boss, right? Something fell out of one of the trees. Like stuff gets so ripe here, bang. You're like, oh man, look at that. Let me take it up and eat it. Yeah. And you're sitting there, should be relaxing, but your mind is back at that place. And the ones who are over you as far as their positions who get you to do the work and they take the credit, they somewhere enjoy themselves relaxing. Coming back with tans and like, where'd you go? Oh, we flew down to Florida and we had the weekend down there and the company paid for it. Oh, why the company paid for it? I'm working for the company, so I'm paying for you. You know? It's crazy. What you say, Jay? You just fainted? You look around here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Ain't no horns honking, ain't no bullets flying, ain't nobody looking at you all funny, hating on you and all that stuff. Or you can get that out here too. Certain, and it's mainly us coming from the States. Many of us who are fraudulent hoteps, we're not really, they're coming out here because, oh, this is a place where I can possibly do better and flex the way that the enemy flexed on me, and I can treat my people like they're below me, and this is my chance to shine and reinvent myself. Or run from the law. We have a lot of people that run from the law out here. They caught somebody the other day, and these computers are busting people left and right because it's hard not to be able to have to put your biometrics or fingerprint or whatever. You better live under somebody that can do all that stuff for you. That doesn't bother me at all. I have nothing to run from. I'm not running from nothing from America. I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't owe nothing. And extradited. No, no, I don't have that fear over my head. Ain't nobody gonna make a phone call on me. You know what I mean? You know, and that's why we have to make sure that we do things right. We are not having any fear in that system, but don't give them a reason to snag you up. When now you're running in fear, you leave and come out here, you can never go back to your country because you got something jacked up going on over there. Mm-mm. There are people like that out here. You know, I couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. But to get to this age, and like I said, things move so quick, you know. Like I said, once 911 happened, it's like there were so many different events that happened that escalated into this. And the turn that the world took, we couldn't have predicted it, really and truly. Kelly Land says, I don't understand How can you be at a place that you're like when you are financially successful, both physically and mentally, mind, body, and spirit, and you still mess with people? There you go. It's more the majority. They'll say the right things. They'll wear the ankhs and wrap their head and change their names. I've seen it. So for me, I kind of stay to myself, away from that faction who wants to come with the superficial, just a different style of it. Yes, and I'm starting this business and I've made so much this year. Well, how many people are you helping? It's just the easier put. You're a big fish in a little pond, and this is not a little pond. But as far as the Western thing is concerned, no. There's things I'm going to get into business wise, and I want many people to benefit from it. And my positioning, I want many people to benefit from it. At the end of the day, after I transition, let the secrets come out. Lance, help me out. Come out there, and Lance, help me. And I'm not saying nothing now. It's not for me to say. It's for me to do my job. Other races do it, don't they? They go to a different country and they set up shop and they have their family come out. And if it's not really a DNA thing, you still come out. Come check it out. Why should you have to pay a hotel? Come over here with me. I mean, I got to know you, right? I ain't trying to invite no mass murderers. I'll tell you a funny story. Oh, God. This happened a long time ago in Orlando, long before me and Mrs. SCURV were together. And there was a young lady that I knew from New York City. And you got to be careful. Certain things I just won't do. We knew each other very well, about 2 or 3 months, on an intimate sexual level. And it wasn't a relationship, it was just one of those things. And all of these years went by. A lot of time went by. And she reached out to me. She found me on social media. This is early on. And very intelligent. We never talked about those things. Life goes on and those things happen. We're thinking we're mature adults, and I'm thinking that way, and I'm thinking she's that way. And so she's like, I'd like to move down to Florida. And I was like, wow. And I wasn't thinking anyone, come on down, and we can swing a little something like the old days, just for old time's sake. I was not thinking that. So we talked for weeks, and she had family more on the west coast of Florida, but she didn't really get along with them, but she wanted to still visit with them. But she didn't have much funds at the time. She would have had to wait like another year before the next vacation. So I said, why don't you come on down? You can stay. I was in another situation, right? But I said, it's okay with her. And you stay and I'll take you around. We'll all go out. There's no hanky panky like this and meet me at midnight by the car. We're going to go park up and do something. Wasn't that? So everything went well. About 3 or 4 days. I think this is the first time I'm telling the story. I got some stories on me. So who I was with went to work that day early. I don't want to say names and incriminate people or whatever have you, but if you know me, you know. My kids at school. I slept late because I worked late. Now I had these next couple of days off, and I had promised to, when everybody else comes home, we'll all go out, eat, go around, we show you around. And then the plan was to drop her over on the West Coast where her family was that she's not too cool with. They had little tensions, right? So this morning, I'm waking up late, tired. I'm getting my sleep because I'm off. I'm like, I'm going to stay in the bed another hour. The house is quiet. She knows to go downstairs and get something to eat, take a shower, do whatever. She wants to go take a walk, do it. She's on her own, so I wake up. My door was unlocked, not because I made it unlocked, but somehow somebody unlocked it or left it unlocked. So something told me, roll over. So I'm half asleep, so I just roll over in my bed. Somebody was standing, right knees on the bed, not on the bed, but touching the bed. And I'm sleeping by the edge. So I look up. It was the young lady who was a guest. I'm seeing breasts, I'm seeing pubic hair, I'm seeing nudity, naked. And the hand was behind the back. Now I'm disoriented, like this is too clear to be a dream. And I was naked. So how long were they standing there looking at me? So I'm in a Twilight Zone kind of fog. So I look up and I notice she's crying. Lance, I'm like, this is strange. I said, yes, because I was in a very vulnerable position. I don't hit women. I had no reason to. But when I keep telling the story, you realize I could have. Homegirl took the hand from behind her back and she went into my kitchen at the time in that apartment that I had a big butcher knife, long butcher knife behind her back, standing over me naked, crying. Knife ain't too cool. And if she can remember the things that we may have done in the intimacies 20 years before, wasn't no knives involved, I would get down like that. I'm not trying to draw no blood from nobody. So I'm awake. Knife? I don't like knives. Bullets go in and out. Knives get in you and rip stuff up, and it takes a butcher knife. I don't care if you a midget. You come in with a knife, you're gonna cut me. I'm scared of that. So she kept crying, and she said, Lance, I can see you really turned out to be a good man, but I always knew you would. I see how kids love you, and I could have had that with you. I'm trying to, like, where are you going with this? And I'm looking at the knife. It wasn't, she was still holding on to it, but I'm looking at knife. I'm not looking at titties. I'm looking at knife. So she's like, I always dreamt about you and wondered we fell out of contact. And I wish it could have been me. And I thought to myself, and this is where mental sickness comes in. I thought to myself, if I can't have you, nobody else would. But I thought about your kids, and oh my God, I went through relationship after relationship, and they didn't treat me so nice. And I remember how nice you treated me, and the things we did. I'm like, oh God, that's gonna come back to haunt me too. Yeah, but promise me. Now this is where the psych came in. I don't think I told this story publicly. This is where the psych. I had the deal. I mean, I know how to deal with people. I know what's coming at me, but I think I had it now. So she's like, I want you to, I know it's going to be a violation, but I want you to make love to me one more time. I'm like, one more time would be 5 more times, 10 more times. Wasn't doing it. So just me and you. Give me that feeling again. And people coming in here, the sort of title of the show, they're like, what is he talking about? Some woman naked with a knife? Is this the wrong show? I'll bring it back on point. So my mind went quick. I said, okay, sometimes you got to say things you don't mean to get out of a situation that you're in. So I said, you know what? I said, I can't believe you feel the same way too. When I first laid eyes on you again, I was thinking the same thing. But I couldn't say it because I'm with somebody else, my kids, and oh God, I'm so glad you want me to make love to you. I want the same thing too. Listen, but we got to do it right. We can't do it here. I said, let's go through the day. Later on, we'll go somewhere. We'll get a place. And I promise you, it'll be better than ever before. She's like, yes, I believe you. I remember. I said, you remember, right? Then she got explicit, and I'm like, oh, she's reminding me. I don't want to hear this. I said, listen, you're supposed to be leaving tomorrow or late tonight. Pack up your things. I'll make sure it's just me and you that go. We're going to spend the night in Orlando, and then we're going to go and drop you off. And maybe during the way, we can keep those memories going. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, I can't believe this is going to happen. And I had my eye on the knife. So I said, sweetheart, we don't need a knife. I threw the knife down. She said, make love to me here. I said, we can't do it here. Spiritually, that would be wrong. It would be wrong if you did it anywhere. But I found out where her mind was. And so later on, everything was cool. I'm still keeping her away. I didn't let her get in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, let me get between her and the knife. She might have a relapse. And I took her out to where she was supposed to go to her family. She's like, this is long drive. This is still Orlando. I said, yeah, but we gotta look. I'm highly visible. You know, the people from my job know me. We gotta be cool. Oh, okay. Took her there. She realized where we were. She said, why did you bring me all the way out here? I said, because nobody from Orlando's gonna see us. Now let's have a good time. Got into the room, put everything in. I said, I gotta repark the car around the back. Oh, I'm coming with you. I said, rest yourself, relax. Think about what's about to happen. Got in the car, I was out. I was out. I guess it's still looking. Yeah, I didn't take my. I'm looking at the knife. She kept herself up in pretty good shape. She looked pretty much the same, but you know, that's what it was. Unbelievable. How close you can come to death. Now I'm fast asleep. What if she just went along with that thought? If I can't have you, nobody else will. I wouldn't be here now. So that's why I'm not looking for no drama. I'm in the mountains, right? In the town that I live in. 20-minute walk to the little town. Everybody walk around stuff on their head. You can't get no Burger King, can't get no Target, can't get no shopping malls right up there. It's a straight country. I love it. You walk down the road, everybody says good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter how dark it is. It's a dark road to get up there. I feel good. I don't have that tension that would make a person go crazy like that. I'm not going to call her crazy. It was emotional stuff. See, she'd been through a whole lot, and I understand that because we talked, you know, and I had to make her behave herself in the car because she kept reaching over trying to squeeze stuff. I'm like, let's not get into this too early. Let's save it. I had to keep that thought in her mind. It saved my life while I kept my eye on that knife. And that knife had a story that I never told, but eventually I got tired of looking at it in my kitchen and I got rid of it. I got in the car one day. I was going far, far away. This is another time. I had the knife next to me. I'm driving. I was like, we don't want that knife inside. No way, not that knife. So if you have guests in your house, if you had a pass together or whatever have you, which pretty much was a mistake, keep the knives locked away. Keep the doors locked. Install cameras. You're right, Tracy J. Install them bad boys. You just never know. Scary situation indeed. I got a lot of stories in the archives I can tell, you know. Fast car. I drive a fast car. I kept my eyes on that daggone knife. The girl went psycho. She saw how I treated my former wife. She thought that things can get better. So many decades away from when we used to Oh man. Man, things are just dropping. What's going on here? Pow, pow. As long as it's not feces that heavy, but there's things growing around that drops and it's kind of like, you know, it hits you. I had a whole bunch of bananas fall in front of me, and I screamed like a little, because it looked evil when it came down. But yeah, America being in high alert. Let's listen. I'm not going to say right now, well, you need to stock up on 10 months worth of food. But listen, 3 days, y'all. Get you a little jug of water. Get you some snacks. Get you some stuff you don't have to cook if the power goes down. But you know how that goes. The fear mongering goes, and it's never nothing that happens if it's 3 days worth of stuff. Secure yourself. Stay out the streets. You don't know when things are going to happen. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. It's not fear mongering. Like I said, we as black people in America, we live in the high alert all the time anyway. Just be more keen, because sometimes we'll get comfortable in our high alert state. Laying in the bed, pow, pow, pow. Well, that's just gunshots. We shouldn't be thinking that way. You know what I mean? What do you mean just gunshots? You might be out there and something happened. And again, don't move in fear. Be proactive. Be ready. Maybe you have better intentions. Keep a knife on you, as long as you're not trying to stab some man in the bed or some woman in the bed because of what happened years before and you want them back. You know, everything is a weapon also. Remember that. Don't think, well, I don't have anything on me. No. That wall right there, you take a person's head and slam it in. That curb, you put them out. and you hit the back of their head, they break the jaw. You got to think like that. And you have to think like that when people are around you who potentially will mean you harm. And you can't not preserve yourself. God gave you your life to live. You don't have any bad intentions to take away the life of somebody else or hurt anybody else. So you have a right to defend yourself, and you have a right to righteously and spiritually stand your ground before man made that law. You do. And like I always say, everything in nature has a way of protecting itself. Most animals out here have some kind of teeth, some kind of venom, or even if they don't have anything at all, they can run. You know what I mean? They can get out of when you see danger coming, even if you have a weapon, just try to avoid it. But watch people's movements. Watch how they act. They wearing a goose down jacket and it's 95 degrees out in the heat wave. There's something's kind of wrong, right? That though, what doesn't look right? It's just like when you see those little, not puzzles, but pictures, like hand-drawn pictures, and they'll tell you to ask you, okay, sound like something was crawling up the tree. Like I said, you might see me see something and it's not too cool. The feet don't fail me now. There's not that danger out here though. You'll see 4 cartoon-like pictures, and they'll ask you to tell the difference in each one. One will have a woman, ta-da, and she has a necklace on. In the next picture, she doesn't have it. Maybe she has 3 rings in the next picture, or maybe the window is not there and there's a window on the other side. So you have to look at things that way and really, really, really absorb what's around you when you're outside. And try to always watch your back. When they say watch your back, I really mean that. I don't mean you're walking around, spinning around all the time. No, but just wipe your head sometime, look around, use a reflection of a mirror to see what's around you, and don't let people get too close to you. Unless they know you, right? They get too close to you, you don't know what they're coming with. It's like, okay, put your arm out. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. Stay right there. I can hear you. You need to come no closer. I got my fist right here. You come closer, you're going to get it. You shouldn't have to be on high alert that way. And we as black people shouldn't have to be that way anyway. We're already in a hostile living environment, So it's sad, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I'll go live if something does happen. We'll talk about it. Not that I'm using that to go live, but I don't want to say, oh, I told you so. It's only speculation because I'm hearing all of the specific stuff from that pastor who broke it down about what's supposed to happen during the inauguration. Let's hope it's not true. Michelle Obama, she's not going. She didn't go to Jimmy Carter's funeral because she doesn't like Donald Trump. But then they say there's some trouble with their marriage, right? Who knows, right? But like I said before at the ending of the other show, he did get to the status of president, even if he wasn't really for us anyway. He was for the rainbow folk, the Latino folk, who a lot of Latino folk are us anyway. But man to woman, no matter who you are, stick by your man. How are you going to not show up? And your man is the president. Your husband's the president. And I'm not into all that hierarchy. But no matter, that's a bad look. What they're going to say, look, see them black people there, man, they can never, even the president and his wife had spats and she didn't show up. You got to save face. Show some respect to your husband in the office that they say, which I'd never pursue that anyway, because that involves a lot of wrongdoing. But represent your people, which really shows that you're not really about our people, because any black woman real black woman would say, you know what, I got to hold my head high and get past this. I'm not going to let this man stop me from shining bright if you're really about that. But she's become bitter and bitter and bitter and bitter. And we heard things about her before she married Barack Obama. I'm not into all of that. I'm just saying some things that are in my head that, she was a supervisor or something over him and she had her nose up in the air and she was hard to get all this stuff. Well, that's probably always been there. Like I said about folks that move out here lots of times. They act like, I came out here to not have to push some Western idea, and I never did. I was never the superficial type. And there were times in my life when I could have acted that way by the possessions I had, which they never made me feel any different about myself. They're just possessions. I will have more things. I probably will be a multimillionaire in the next couple of years. Why not? Is there anything bad with that? I can help people out. I can build some structures and say, hey, listen, you don't have to pay me no mortgage, but you know what? Pay a little bit to cover it for the next 10 years. This is small. It's compact. You'll be able to live. You can take out your retirement check and pay it back. And guess what? When you move on to something else, if you want to, we'll let somebody else come in and take your place. We'll build an underground railroad for folks who want to come from America, UK, to come out here and move out here. But many of us, once we get here, oh, I got mine. No, you can't think that way because we're part of a chain. We're part of a cycle. And if you break the cycle by thinking on your own, it's like a rear end. When the cars pile up, when it hits the brake, and then all of a sudden the flow is stopped and everybody piles up on each other. I'm not trying to flex, y'all. I flexed back in the day with muscles. I flexed with, and I didn't flex, but I had things going on financially a good long time in my life. And the times when things crashed, it didn't stop me from being me. It taught me a whole lot. Because you can tell the people who never had anything. And this doesn't mean you have to have anything to be whatever. But like for me personally, the people that I know that they're so hung up on house. So what? There was a time when I was 1 or 2 nights away from being homeless because of the money and timing and rent and things. And I was like, oh man, because I don't ask nobody, can I sleep on your couch, whatever. I was like, I'll go in the park. And bingo, something came where I was all right. I'm not going to say I was homeless. I'm just saying it was right to the edge. And I faced it. I faced the unknown. I faced the fear, right? The fear that was trying to get on me, but I knocked it out. You face it, right? But why do we get this way? There's always the people who are caught up in, yeah, that brother over there, he never used to have anything because he's too intoxicated with that little thing he got right there. You know what I mean? That's crazy, you know? Let me see here what Kelly Land said. And Giant Gate says, stay strong on the home front, battle behind doors. Exactly. Kelly Land says, I always say as long as the right people are rich, the world will be, and it will go a lot further that we could, I'm having brain farts reading everything, right? Further that we can help each other. Exactly. I don't care who has 3 times more than me and, I got to catch up to who they think they are. Because if I'm thinking that way about them, that means I'm that way to somebody else. And life is too short. Like I said, after 9/11, 24 years went by. Another 24 years go by, I'm going to be 85 years old. And that's going to go even faster. I'm not going to let it. I'm going to indulge myself in stuff that keeps the time going slow. Because we can alter our perception of time. But if we just pull back from our lives and not live the legacy and live the way we're supposed to live, it will go by. If we live it in a way where there's nothing but foolishness going on, right? No way. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this down soon. I'm doing this on my phone, vertical, my little wireless. People say, why do you have 2 microphones? One's for the left and one's for the right. If I was interviewing somebody, so I put them both so it's not like, then they'll say, the sound is just coming from the left. Well, if I use one, that's what happened. So I put 2. I can walk all the way around. I can walk down to the wall. I can go over here, and you'll still hear me. That's why I like that. Hands-free, right? I got the handhelds. I got all those little things inside there, but this is total freedom. I might do a few shorts in a little while. I'm going to go eat. I said I was going to eat after the other show. I didn't do it. That's why my lips, I'm always licking my lips now. They're dry. I'm a little dehydrated. I don't know why. I know why. But I want some potatoes tonight, man. I'm going to peel some potatoes. You're going to eat. I want them carbohydrates. It's going to hit me. More energy. Tomorrow we clean. There's some good work that was done. And I'm very, very happy. Incrementally, one step at a time. But you have to have a plan. We have emotions that drive our passions, what we want to do. But if we don't have a plan incrementally, we say, okay, today is for this. Today. And some days you may not be able to do it. You have an aunt or a cousin who's in a hospital. You got to go visit them or take care of their household. You got to give it yourself at the same time. So plan to have that little reservoir. I think of reservoir, I think of condom. I'm sorry, y'all. The reservoir at the end of the condom, right? But have that little space where there's a little leeway. It's not always going to work out exactly the way you do it. If you plan, and if it does, fine. But don't be down on yourself if it doesn't happen the way you want, because God may have his own plans on your life. But you'll end up in the destination you want if he righteously signs off on it. But the road you think it's going to take, it may go around this road and around that. You're like, man, I'm going away from the goal. No, but maybe that's a better way. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's faster. No obstacles, no speed bumps. You never know. Go with the flow, but keeping your heart where you want to go. Work toward it, have discipline, and you'll be there. Trust me. Trust and believe. Riri. Yes, I did a live a little earlier, and what's supposed to happen? They say some attacks all over the country and at the inauguration and stuff, and we'll see. We keep our eyes peeled. There's nothing that I want to have happen, right? I don't want to see anybody lose their life or this confusion going in the world, this spiritual wickedness. But then again, spiritual wickedness has been pushed by those leaders in America and those shadow governments and stuff, so we don't know. Everything stays in balance. There's one thing we know, that in nature, everything is balanced. If it looks imbalanced a little bit, it's coming back into balance. It may take a little longer than what you think, but it's coming back into balance. Every action has an equal and just as powerful reaction, right? So if you know that, I'm just saying, not anybody, him, just saying, I don't mean to say like you're stupid, you don't know. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, just in general, if you know that, then you'll understand how to ride the wave of time, the artificial construct, not let that bother you, and just be within that place you're supposed to be from within. I don't care what's happening around me. My compass, my energy, my drive, all of that comes from within. And if you have that equal amount of force pushing out against the obstacles that come at you, it's not going to bother you. You won't feel it. Sometimes you do. We're human. Sometimes we get caught off guard. Like I said, if you're in a boxing match and you're a great champion, you're still going to get hit. Still going to get your eye busted sometime. It could be an amateur that had 3 fights. Somehow he's going to get one of pow. You're like, oh man, this is not supposed to happen to me. You can't think that because it's a fight, right? Okay. Oh, okay. It's going to be inside on Monday. So this, okay. I'm thinking today is Sunday. So it's going to be 2 more days, right? Okay. Thank you for that. I'm in the twilight zone out here, y'all. In a good way, not in a bad way, right? So we go. I'm going to come back with some more stuff. And I'd like to come back with a live. I got to get certain things done first. Since this is live, I can't see the time on my phone, but I'll be off in a second and I'll find out, recalibrate myself, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about. So we will be back tonight somehow, some way. And I'm 5 hours ahead of you, so it's a little later for me. So I got to get it going early, so I can come back. Anyway, how do I cut this off again? I always have this issue, right? But I'll say much love to you all. Salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. It's not like it's cool when I have all my buttons. I can push the sound and the outros and stuff. I got to go just like this, and that's so corny, right? But anyway, let me hit this, figure out how to do this. Okay, I know what to do. Thank you, Riri. Thank you so much. We love you too, right? Oh, it's 11:59 Eastern time, which means it's 4:29 Eastern time. Well, not Eastern time, but West African time. 5 hours ahead. See, a part of me is still in the East. I still dream like I'm in New York or in Orlando. Really, New York. I don't have dreams like I'm out here because I'm already out here, but I dream like I wake up. The other night I had a dream. I was walking to the corner store in New York City. The store's not even there anymore. That shows all little quantum connections that we have. But let me hit this off. I'm glad to see you all here too. I'm coming back. And much love to you all. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you. See, I hate to put the finger up. How do I put the finger up without blocking the screen? Let me do it this way. Peace out, y'all. Much love. Let's see how